Thanks for hitting that like button. Thank you. Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday. Come on in. I'm not going to be on here long. I'm going to say what I got to say, and then I'm going to go about my business. Trigger, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Hey, Tori, how you doing? How you doing? Pico, hey, how you doing? How are you beautiful people doing today? TJ, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Happy Sunday, y'all. Happy Sunday. For those of you that believe in Easter, happy Palm Sunday. Butterflyness, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Been doing okay? Hey. Guys, it is, again, a blessing to be in the number. One more time. I wanted to get on here and talk really quick. I'm good, been on vacation. Oh, that's great. You could have took us with you, though, Butterflyness. You didn't have to keep that all to yourself. You could have took, looked out for the little people, you didn't have to leave everybody. Just saying. But I wanted to just touch on something really quick. Again, on this Palm Sunday. Because of everything that has been going on, I've been reminded of a few things. And I just wanted to get on here and touch on this quickly with all the stuff that's been going on. So the title of this is The Hard Truth. They crucified him. Now, I know some of y'all want to wait and see what I got to say before y'all hit that like button. But for those of you that, think this going to be all right, go ahead and hit that like button real quick. Go ahead and hit this like button. And if you change your mind, then go back and unhit the like button. You know what I mean? But yeah, so just thinking about things, and because this is Palm Sunday, I was reminded of a few things, like what leads up to Easter. And I think about, and guys, this is, hopefully this message doesn't offend anybody, but I feel like it is very appropriate today. But we think about the crucifix, right? And we think about what led up to that crucifixion. And we think about the things that took place. Now, as much as people claim to have, or claim now to love God, love Jesus, love, like whoever your higher power is, I think people forget about what led up to, like, that week that leads up to Easter. So just bear with me for a minute. The crucifixion. So we had someone that a lot of people knew and loved, a lot of people worship, rightfully so. But we had someone that was accused of a wrong. He was accused of doing something that was wrong. And in the midst of him being accused of doing something wrong, and I'm not going to get too deep into this, I just want to do a comparison here. We read about someone being crucified. Now, you had all these people that loved, for the sake of this, I'm going to say this man, that loved this man, that loved this being. You had all these people that had his back. You had these disciples that were supposed to be his ace boon coons. They were down for him. But when he was accused of something, those people that were supposed to be there for him through thick and thin, his ride or dies, the people that looked up to him, the people that knew his place, the people that knew who he really was, a lot of those people turned their backs on him. Sound familiar to anybody? We'll have people that stand up for us until we're going through something. When I say I don't know which two you talking about, Pico. I'm saying, let me finish. Whenever we're going through something, we have people that are there until we actually start going through that thing. And depending on what that thing is, if people feel like it's too hot in the kitchen, or they don't want their name tied to stuff, or they don't want to be associated with you, they don't want people to know that you have any type of affiliation, any type of association, then a lot of those people turn their backs on you until they know that they are in the clear, or that you are in the clear. So when I think about this story and all of the stuff that went on, and all of the deceitfulness, all of the backstabbing, all of the two-facedness, and I had to make that up because that is not a word. When you look at it in its totality, I do think that there are some similarities on what we have going on today. Now, this may not go where a lot of people think it is going. We can look at some of the more famous people, but I want us to think about just people in everyday life. To crucify someone. Now, in biblical terms, you have killed someone. You basically, you say they did something, you feel like their punishment is death. You killed someone, you crucified someone. In modern day, it's not so much about killing someone, but it's to criticize someone severely and relentlessly, to the point that there is no in between. There's no good about them. There's nothing good about them at all. They don't deserve to breathe the same air that you breathe. They don't deserve to walk on the same ground that you walk on. This is the world that we live in today, and this is what is done by people, by humans. Now I need to remind y'all that we are the people. We are the humans that participate in this behavior. So what I'm seeing is, I can go and do some videos on some situations, and I don't mind speaking on some things that I see that I don't necessarily agree with. But at the same time, I have to ask myself, in me disagreeing with the way that something is done, am I being careful not to crucify someone? Because that's when we jump into a whole other level, when we get to the point of trying to crucify someone. And so I just want to remind people that regardless of what the situation is, if you see someone and you feel like what they're doing is wrong, or what they have done is wrong, are you merely stating what you think is wrong about whatever that behavior situation is? Or have you gotten to the point of actually crucifying someone? Because I wouldn't want my behaviors to come across as being someone that's crucifying somebody else. Because when I think about crucifixion, when I think about crucifying, what this thing really is, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. You had people that took this man that was accused of something, and they beat him, and they tortured him, and they did everything imaginable and unimaginable to him, to the point where he no longer could be identified as human. They crucified him. Now, for those that aren't familiar, at some point before all this stuff took place, there was a young lady in this whole story that took a bottle of, we're going to say perfume, and she poured it on this man. Now, people thought she was crazy. People got on, why are you pouring that expensive perfume, cologne on this man, this guy that's no good? Well, the thing was, she was showing love, or what her version of love was, right? So in the midst of this crucifixion, every time that this man bled, every time that this man sweat, that perfume, the scent of that perfume was coming out of his pores because it had set in his body. And every time they did these things to crucify him, with that bead of sweat, with that piece of blood, everything that's coming out, it had that scent. So he had a constant reminder that even though all these things were being done to him, there was still somebody that loved him. Somebody still was there for him. Something that simple. And I don't know if y'all get that. But other people didn't understand what was going on. But it was just that one thing that seemed like it was crazy. You just pouring all this stuff. Why are you doing that? You just wasted a good bottle of $300-$400 perfume on this man that nobody really cares for at this point. But he had that constant reminder while he was up there being crucified that somebody loved him. Even though people had turned on him. Even though the very disciples that were supposed to be his boys were plotting and planning. Not all of them. Even though you had, the homeboys like Peter and Judas, sitting up there chilling, and Peter turned on him, and Judas, he already, and this man knew what these people were going to do. He knew what Judas was like. This was already set in stone. He let them know, look, I know one of y'all is going to betray me. Basically, you already have. I'm sitting here and I think about this story. And when I say that there are some parallels to me, I see people being crucified on a day-to-day basis. I think about things like the situation that happened with Will Smith. And no, I'm not going to get into all of that, but I see that there was some crucifying there. What he did was wrong. Yeah, it was wrong. Why is it so hard for people to say that somebody was wrong and leave it at that? Why must we go for blood? Why must we be the one that's constantly throwing stones and lashing and beating until a person is no longer recognizable as a human? We have to look at the stuff that we're doing now. How is it any different than what was done to the man in these stories that we all read about? Because they crucified him. Now, I'm looking, like I said, I see that crucifixion in different ways in modern day now. So I think there is some parallel to what we have going on right now. If someone did do wrong, which we all do, and I think that's the thing that people seem to overlook. When it comes to wrongs, we like to put them on levels, but there is no one wrong that is weighs heavier than the other one. We can sit there and tell that tale to make ourselves feel better, but at the end of the day, no. We all have been wrong. We all have fallen short at some point in our lives. And honestly, if you say that you haven't, you are not being honest with yourself or the people that you're telling that lie to. The one thing with us, because we don't have all these cameras and microscopes and all these other things shining on us directly, then we were able to go through whatever we had to go through learn from it, and continue to move on. I think my issue is that we are being granted mercy and we're not willing to give mercy. Before we go and try to be empathetic to anyone's situation, we choose crucifixion over empathy. We choose crucifixion over grace. We choose crucifixion over mercy. But these are the things that we ask for and pray for on a daily basis. Even if you don't get on your knees and pray every day, you are always hoping that you have some type of mercy when you are in any given situation. Just living day to day, you are asking for mercy. So if we think about these things and think about what has happened in these stories in this good book that a lot of us are familiar with, how are we who are unwilling to grant people any type of mercy? How are we any different from the people that were stoning? And I'm going to say his name at this particular point. How are we any different from the people that were stoning and lashing and beating and killing and killed Jesus? How are we any different? We beat, we lash out, we stone with our words. Nobody can do anything wrong. God forbid somebody does something wrong. And I say this because, like I said, I did a video the other day, and I've done other videos addressing situations that I see, and I speak on those situations, and then I leave those situations alone. Because at the end of the day, when we get to the point of crucifying somebody, then we're on another level. Has anybody ever thought that at the end of the day, depending on what your beliefs are, if you're not a believer, then it's not going to matter to you anyway. But if you are a believer, depending on what your beliefs are, what are you going to have to answer to whenever your day comes? Whenever you get to the place where you have to face your fate, have to see your maker, and you're asking for that grace, you're asking for that mercy, what are you going to do when you're asked, well, what about the stuff that happened with John? You crucified him. You didn't show him any mercy. What about the stuff that happened with Sue? You crucified her. You didn't show her any mercy. What about the stuff that happened with Q? You crucified him. You didn't show him any mercy. And God forbid that you are reminded that that's the same thing that happened to him. You did to me. You did to those people what these people did to me. Has anybody ever thought about that? Or is it just me? Because my chat is like real quiet. It hadn't moved in a long time. Am I the only person that think about this stuff? Because it's okay to have opinions on stuff, but when you get to the point of crucifying someone, and that's what I'm saying, like all the way around. You have people that go and take other people's lives, and they're granted mercy. You have people that do like heinous things, and a lot of people grant folks mercy. But then when it comes to certain things, we act like we forget what that looks like. And I want to be clear when I'm saying this, because I know that it's going to look like I'm talking about one particular thing, but I need to be clear on something. Like this goes like all the way around. It goes to anybody that, for yourself, if you've done something and you've been crucified or felt like you've been crucified. But it goes to a deeper extent than that. If you feel like somebody did somebody else wrong, you have to be careful about crucifying those people as well. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, they may have participated in some acts that did somebody wrong. But are you any better than them when you go and crucify them? It's, again, like I told you the other day, it's a domino effect. But what we do is, because we see somebody or we've been crucified in a situation, and we let that give us an open pass to go and crucify other people. Like, we forgot about the situation that we just been in, or that we are in, or that we just made it out of. And then we go and do the same thing that we are accusing other people of doing. This is what I'm saying. So it's not, you lose a lot of folks if you don't go in a certain direction with some things. But I need people to get what I'm saying. If you look at the situation, we're going to take RK. You know, I'm not going to say his name. We're going to take RK. And you see or feel that he is being crucified, that he's been done wrong, that there are people that are coming after him, taking lash after lash, beating after beating, and you're right to feel that way. But as believers, if you are a believer, let me not assume that everybody is, but if you are, how are you any better when you go and crucify the people that did the stuff to him, or that you feel did the stuff to him? How does that make you any different than those people? Because in my eyes, and y'all tell me, see, I lost some folks on that. His grace isn't selective. I see people going after folks hard, like all the way around, and I'm sitting here and I'm trying to figure out, when did we get in the place where we can stand up with a straight face and talk about how wrong everybody else is, or the wrong stuff that a lot of people are doing, if we're sitting here and we're playing judge and jury on other folks, crucifying folks? There's nothing good about them. There's no right about them, regardless of what a person is being accused of, or what kind of situation a person finds themselves in. We have to be careful that we are not sitting around judging these people to the point that it becomes a crucifixion. This is the truth. We talk about other people being broken. We are a broken people, period. And we're so broken that we get joy. A lot of us get joy out of seeing other people go through. We get joy out of bringing pain to other people. We get joy out of causing pain for other people. This is us. We like to call other people broken. We are a broken people. And when I think about this man, this being nailed on this cross and being made a spectacle in front of all these people, and how people were able to throw rocks and pull out issue these lashes and just go and just hit and just battering and beat. I mean, just keep going. Y'all, we see this every day. This isn't something that just happened in biblical times. We see this every day, every single day, whether it's one of us seeing it because you see it on YouTube. People bring up stuff that people did in the past. People lie about stuff that people did, and whether it's the truth or whether it's fake, people will go and they will crucify you. Don't know anything about you. They really don't even know your name, and they will crucify you. And with a straight face, y'all ain't gonna like this, will tell you how much they love the Lord. how saved they are, how spiritual they are. Spirituality should be made of greater stuff. It should be made of greater stuff. Now, this isn't me on here trying to crucify anybody. This is just me speaking today because the truth is the truth, regardless of what the situation is. We've been talking about what's been going on with the particular young lady and her family. The stuff that they did, was it right? Absolutely not. Do we just talk about it and talk about what we don't like about it? Or do we crucify? Because I'm seeing a lot of crucifying. And this is what I'm saying, like all the way around. There's no such thing as grace. There's no such thing as forgiveness. And again, I need people to understand you can't expect to get something that you are not willing to give to other people. It's like you going and you expecting to get money out of a bank that you never deposited anything into. The only way that you're going to get something out of that bank without depositing something is if you go and rob that bank. And Lord forbid, I'm not telling anybody to go and rob a bank. But you have to deposit something. There has to be a deposit. So if you're not depositing grace, if you're not depositing mercy, if you're not depositing forgiveness, if you're not depositing some type of empathy, then how in the world with a straight face and with a loving heart, with a sensible heart, with a sensible mind, do you really expect to get that in return? For yourself or for any situation that you're praying over? That's not how this works. That is not how this works. I think one of the things that I have seen more recently is people can do one thing. And in this particular situation, I'm thinking about, and I'm going to be jumping back from different people because, like I said, it's not just one situation, but I think about the stuff that happened with Will Smith. I think about some stuff with that I saw with Denzel, and I see people say, well, I used to love Will, but because of what he did, no, I just have no love for him. I'm through with him. And then I see where Denzel was on a platform with Bishop Jakes, and he was asked a question about what happened and what his thoughts were on it. And he talked about what he thought. And because he didn't answer the question the way that a lot of people thought that he should answer it, then they were through with him. I used to respect him. I just lost all respect for him. Again, the first thing, let me be clear on this too. If somebody can do one thing, and I know that there are some things that you may feel are unforgivable, so let me be clear with that, but it's not something that was done to you personally. If somebody that you love or care for or admire or have any type of relationship with, if you said that you had any type of respect or love or concern or whatever for them before, and because they did one thing that other people thought were wrong or that you even thought was wrong, if you lose everything that you had for them over that situation, did you ever have anything for them in the first place? You have killed whatever relationship that y'all have had. You've killed that person off. You have crucified them based on that situation. Did you ever have anything real for them in the first place? Because even if you're in an erotic relationship, even if you're in a romantic relationship with someone, they can really hurt you, and you do not lose that love that you have over them over one incident. You may not like them. You may not like what they did. You may have lost something for them, but you don't lose everything for that person because of one situation. Regardless of how bad it is, you don't lose. That's not how we operate. Our bodies aren't even, they're not made like that. Our minds, our heart is not made like that. If we go back to that story, and I remind myself of that young lady again that took that perfume and poured that perfume all over this man. Are you that person that wants to make sure that people know that whatever they are going through, that somebody still loves them? Or are you that person that wants to remind people just how wrong they are and that there's no get right about them, and I don't care what you say and what you do, everybody's gonna hate you because of what you did? Like, which side of the spectrum do you fall on when it comes to that? Are you one of the crucifiers, or are you one of the people that are sitting there being realistic about a situation, understanding that everybody's gonna make mistakes? Everybody will continue to, like, until the day you die, you're gonna make a mistake. You are going to participate in some wrongdoings. Which side of this do you fall on? Are you the person that sits around and act like they are absolutely perfect and they are sitting there ready to throw stones and just stone somebody to death the minute they do something? Or are you the person that understands to err is human and to forgive is divine? Which side of that spectrum do you fall on? Come on through with that alabaster box. Come on now. Because we got to be... well, we got to... It's quiet up in here. I'm trying to see something. I'm asking for a friend because we got one person that's being crucified for alleged acts. We got other people that are being crucified for participating or being part of the reason that the person is being accused of alleged acts. We got different people. What's going on, Trent? We got other people that are being crucified for, like, everybody has their own little thing that they're in. Like, at what point do we just speak on something and just not be judge and jury? Just say whatever you got to say and just keep on pushing, not trying to crucify anybody. Because I can say that somebody or something is wrong without going, and trying to chop their heads off. I can feel that you did something wrong to me at the shooter. And not go and feel like I got to go and just ruin your very existence. But it seems like we're not seeing a lot of that, because if somebody feels that we're wrong on something, they're going after you, they're going after your family, they're going after your dog, they're going after everything that you ever knew, loved, the stuff that you even thought about loving. Like, they are coming for your head. And anybody or anything that gets in the way of them coming for you is merely collateral damage. While we are seeing the error in other people's ways, when will we see the error in our own ways? To be sure. Again, a lot of people that are in the spotlight, their things are put out there for people to comment on, whether if it's any of their business or not. But if someone was to take a magnifying glass, if someone could take just one of us ordinary people and put our day-to-day up here, put our wrongs up here on display for other people to add their opinion or their input, or what they think should happen to us, do any of us have clean hands? Is something seriously wrong with us as a people? A number was really done on us long before we came into this world. That's crucial. That's crucial. And I don't think people understand that. It's when it comes to us, like, we live, walk, and breathe hypocrisy. Absolutely. Him who is without sin cast the first stone. Y'all remember how that story went, right? Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Well, there's a lot of people casting stones. Somebody lying. Somebody's lying. You're lying to yourself and you're lying to everybody else too. There has to be an awakening when it comes to some of this stuff. And I know out here, like right now, everybody wants to put, stuff out. Again, we got content. We have all this stuff. At the end of the day, I mean, I don't, y'all, if we gonna go back on that book, like, what good does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? What good does it profit a man to gain a few likes and clicks and views and lose your soul? If you got to sacrifice your soul to come up, there is something seriously wrong with that picture. Not just the picture. It's something seriously wrong with you if you feel that you have to sacrifice yourself, who you're supposed to be, who you claim to. If you are willing to sacrifice your soul for money, for a YouTube check, TikTok check, Instagram check, like if you are willing to sacrifice your soul for that, That's some scary stuff. And see, I know what a lot of people, the understanding is, I think it was on The Color Purple where the lady said, you better whip Mr. Now and thank heaven later, or something like that. It's like, for a lot of people, look, I'm living now. When I die, I won't be here anyway, so it doesn't matter. And they don't think about the after. And again, it's based on whatever your beliefs are. But child, this not even just about the after. This is about the now. Because your beliefs and your behaviors, they play a major role in how stuff work in your life right now. If things aren't going the way that you have been praying for them to go, you just can't get a breakthrough on anything. Like you trying and trying and trying. Like you gotta go and evaluate some stuff and think about how you are actually living. If you find yourself in a situation where you are being crucified, I mean, and it was something that, you weren't in the wrong for, but you are being crucified. When you're praying and reflecting and doing all this stuff, are you also, during that reflection, are you thinking about the way that you may have treated other people in situations? Because this is something that has to be considered when we self-reflect. We have to think about whether or not we were one of the people that were doing the same thing that is being done to us now. See, some people like to call it karma. I like to call it life. Were you participating in some of these acts before, and now you're getting some of what you gave to other people, you're getting that back now? Because everything goes full circle. Pico, I agree with that 100%. The premise is that the future is uncertain, so they are living for now. I think a lot of people do think that way. And I'm not saying that they are wrong in their thinking. Again, it's all about what a person's, what his or her beliefs may be at a particular time. If you don't think that they'll, that whenever this life is over, if you don't think that there's anything like after this, and you're not worried about what what lies ahead of you, then you do whatever you got to do. And I feel like a lot of people think that way, and that's why they act the way that they act and do the things that they do. Nothing's going to happen to me. I mean, if it's not happening now, I'm not worried about it later. Like a lot of people think that way. But there's still life to live right now. And the thing that a lot of people don't think about is, you may not be gone. I mean, you may not be here. But if someone else, your kids, the people that you have left behind, are they paying for your sins? Are they paying for your transgressions? It's a lot of praying on people in the YouTube streets when we as believers should be praying during this time. Oh! Yeah. So if I had to sell my right hand, it'd be great today. Then and that's it, y'all. That's the thing. It's y'all know I like to talk about mindfulness. Like that's what I base everything on. Mindfulness. You have to be mindful of what you do, how you do things. You have to be mindful of how you treat people. You have to be mindful of how you treat yourself. And I'm hearing a baby crying. I don't know where in the world that's coming from. But there's something there's something that's missing in many of us. Because if we had that thing, then we wouldn't do a lot of the things that we do. If we had that thing, whatever that thing is, and I'm going to let y'all figure that out. Whatever that thing is that we're missing that allows people to go around here and act a plumb fool. Whatever that thing is that allows people to come after people and be just completely disrespectful and so bold about, it. Whatever that thing, girl, I'm saying girl, I'm a child, that spirit. Let me tell y'all something. y'all about to take me into a whole other conversation. That spirit, that fruit of that spirit. Boy, y'all don't want to have this conversation today. Lord have mercy. Y'all, it's some things, it's something that's missing. And we can get on that fruit thing and y'all, hey, okay, see, not fruits, fruit of the spirit. And if one part of that is missing, because you got to have all of it. It's one fruit and it has different parts to that fruit. And if one part of that is missing, just one, just a little pinch of that is missing, like the kindness or the love or the long suffering, or like if any part of that is missing, then we run around here and we just run amok like we don't know what's going on. And you see that all the time. And the thing, oh Lord, you see folks coming out. That's how people are able to go and just lie on people for no reason. That's how people are able to go and just concoct, just mess. And that's how other people are able to sit there and go along with it and believe the foolishness, because there is something lacking. That's why people can go and threaten people. That's why people can go and talk about people's families. That's how people can go and do just complete and utter bull, because they are lacking something. And that's why people are able to go and crucify other people when they are not walking in a righteous path, they darn self, but they are quick to go and crucify other people. But when their day of judgment comes, when the day comes where they find themselves in the hot seat and they are being crucified by a jury of their peers, then they feel like they have been done wrong. They forget all the things that they did to other people. They forget we have to decide if we're going to get into this team talk, because I did a live about teams the other day. You have to decide what team you want to be on. And don't get me wrong, it's not these teams that folks are talking about on here. You got to decide which team you're going to be on. Are you trying to be on a team of righteousness Not saying that you got to be perfect, but you for darn sure strive for perfection. You try to do the right thing, knowing that you're human. You at least try to do the right thing. Are you going to be on that side of righteousness? Because that's where justice falls. Are you trying to be on that side? Or are you trying to be on the side of bull? And no, there's nothing biblical or spiritual about that term. But are you trying to be on the side of righteousness? I say crucifixion. Acting like you have never done anything wrong. Acting like you weren't forgiven for some stuff that you've done. Acting like there were things that or weren't things that you've done that other people didn't know about, and you are thankful for God's grace and mercy that he didn't put your mess out for people to come after you and crucify you for the stuff that you've done. Which side are you falling on? Because right now, that crucifixion team looking real heavy right now. I mean, we done went past the starting lineup. We got like 5 or 6 alternate teams right now. Is there anybody that wants to be on that team of righteousness, understanding that we all fall short, understanding that at some point all of us are going to ask for grace and mercy, understanding that we have to give grace and mercy in order to receive grace and mercy. Understanding that even though some people may have done us wrong, or some people that we love, or some people that we are close to, at some point, not that we're not gonna be upset about stuff because we're human, but we understand that we gotta let stuff go and let God handle that, because that is not our place to be trying to go and crucify people. That's how you walk in righteousness. You learn to forgive, not forget, because there's a lesson in everything. But you understand that you can't go around playing God. Which side are you trying to be on? I know some people be saying that's bull, because somebody do me wrong, I'ma do that. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just, look at what you got going on. Are you one of these people that sat around like the people in these good stories that we know so well and were lashing and stoning and doing everything that they could to make this man look unhuman? Unhuman. Not inhumane, trying to make him look unhuman, unrecognizable to other humans, so that they wouldn't be able to feel anything for him. Because that's what we do when we crucify people. You want to stone that person until they're no longer recognizable, so people can't identify with them. People can't understand. They can't empathize on what a person has going on. Are you one of those people? If so, y'all have at it. But keep that over there. Because I can't, I don't want no parts of that. I don't want no parts. 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 And see, this is what I'm saying. Even in all the wrong that we do, we still have somebody that is forgiving and is merciful to all of us. Understanding, even in this story, even though Peter wasn't on top of his job and he turned his back on this man, that when the tables turned, this same man, Peter, this same man that he did wrong, This man chose him. You know what? I'm gonna leave that alone. He took the same one, knowing what that man did to him, knowing that man turned his back on him, knowing that man did him wrong. And he took him and used him. What you say? He used them. That's where the merciful stuff come in at. Cause see, those of us that sit here and act like we can't do no wrong, when somebody went and we feel like they're just the scum of the earth, we just don't have that form. There is no good coming with them, and there's nothing that they can do for us, and we could like there's nothing. We want them dead. No. But that man that was crucified by these people, they tried to break him, didn't they? Even in death, they didn't break him, huh? They crucified him, killed him, but even in death, they couldn't break him, huh? I'm going to leave this alone. I'm going to leave this alone because, hey, listen, it's just a thought that was on my mind today. They crucified him. I promise y'all they did. They crucified him. Somebody said something about that third day. What happened? What happened on that third day? Anybody know what happened? 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Somebody told me they hung him high. They stretched him wide. He hung his head. For us, he died. What you say about that third day? Hold on. Wait a minute, I see something right there. Untold truth. What you say about that third day? Hold up. Say what? He did what now? He did what? What was it? Yes. Now, I don't know about y'all. But see, this is why I don't partake in the crucifixion of it all. See, because I ain't trying to go and stone nobody that has the capabilities of dying and then coming back, rising up again. And then I got to face you, and I was one of the people that like, I ain't taking those type of chances. I don't know about anybody else. I ain't like, that's scary to me. Like I'm not. See, one thing that my mama always taught us is that you got to be careful how you treat people, because you never know who or whose that person is. You feel me? Let me say that again. You have to be careful about how you treat people, because you never know who or whose that person is. Now I'm talking about. Everybody want to be spared in a situation, but don't want to spare anybody else. But I tell you, that Passover was something crucial, right? I have said it, Angela. I have. But the person I was speaking about was Jesus. I said Jesus. But for the people that aren't understanding that everybody doesn't believe the same thing, I tried to break it down so that it wasn't so much of a religious thing. But it was just speaking to people in general about a story, because ultimately the Bible is a book of stories. It's a book of stories. So that's why I do it that way. That's why. And this is just the way that I have been led to do it. No other reason. Is anyone offended? I see one person commenting. Is anybody else offended? Right. Is anybody else offended? Speak now, forever hold your peace. But I do, I would suggest that you go back and rewind, because I don't think you were here from the, like for the whole thing. And see what his name was called. But I understand what type of platform I am on. And sometimes you have to reach people where they are at. And if I use certain names or do things a certain way, I may not be able to reach that person. But when I say the man, see, when a lot of people, when they say the man, hey, Jeffrey, how you doing? They talking about this big system. When I say the man, I mean the man. Because that's who he is to me. He's the man. He's the man. Who's the man? Big, powerful, spiritual man. That's my man. Yeah, that I actually refer to him as the man. True story. So, if that offends anybody, I don't want to say, I don't want to say that I apologize, because if I told you that, I wouldn't be honest. That would be me lying to you, so I don't want to lie to you. But yeah. But I spoke about today being Palm Sunday. So anybody that is knowledgeable about Palm Sunday, I mentioned Peter, I mentioned Judas. If you are familiar with any of those things, and there's certain things, what's understood doesn't have to be explained. Know what I mean? But if anybody would like any, want to go into detail about that, then that's definitely something that we can, that we can do. But I don't want to like turn whatever I'm doing for people to feel like I'm giving a sermon or anything. So I try to make sure I keep it at a certain level. That's all. That's it. That's all. Okay. And just talking about the crucifixion as a whole, I give people enough information to where if it has you questioning anything, then you'll go, hold on, what's she talking about? And what lady poured some perfume or something on Jesus? Who poured some perfume or some oil or whatever that stuff was, some Fabre? Who poured something on him and like threw it, like put it, like just enough to give people something to go back? Let me see what she was talking about. Hold on. And somebody in the chat mentioned the alabaster box. What was that? What is an alabaster box? Like that's what it's for, to like just kind of, you know what I mean? But I really wanted people to think about how the crucifixion that happened in biblical times. Look at the times that we live in now, even though people may not be beat with whips and chains and nailed to crosses, that we are experiencing a modern day crucifixion. And that was really the parallel that I was trying to get people to see, that even though we are in different times, it's like that same book, different cast. We're still experiencing the same things. It's just in a different way. We crucify people with our words. We crucify people with our actions. It's not about us stoning somebody. When we talk about throwing a rock and hiding the hand, we know that that is not a real rock. It's just a figment of speech, but we understand what it means when somebody says something about somebody throwing a rock and hiding their hand. We understand what it means for whenever we hear that scripture about he who is without sin, throw the first stone. We understand that when we're speaking on that we're not actually waiting for stones to be thrown. So this is really what I wanted people to think about. Hey, Demetri, how you doing? Anybody that I did not speak to that came in, hey, how you doing? I don't want you to think I overlooked you. But that's all it is for me today, to just really get people to think about how they treat a situation and how they treat people that are in different situations. Because ultimately, none of us are without sin. It doesn't matter how perfect we want to be and how perfect we claim to be. None of us. And I'm going to make sure my name is at the top of that list. None of us are without sin. None of us that walk this earth, that are of sound mind and body, have lived a 100% pure, clean, unadulterated, like it's darn near humanly impossible. We have all done something that we have had to ask for forgiveness for, something that we may have had, if not from other people, like we had to forgive ourselves, even if it's something that other people don't even know about. Like we have all done something that we are not necessarily proud of. We have all done things that we want other people to know that we have done. And like, it doesn't have to be something that's illegal. It could be something that is moral or immoral, but we have all done something. And if those things that we did, if we were put on the chopping block, would we want to have mercy? Would we want that mercy extended to us? Would we want that mercy that we are unwilling to give other people? Would we want that mercy extended to us? Absolutely, Pico. We are all fallible. Absolutely. So my challenge to other people is, before you go and crucify, or even if you don't want to use crucify, before you go and condemn other people on what they have going on, again, pointing out a wrong is one thing, but we take it to a whole other level. We take it to a whole other level. And before we take it to that next level, outside of just saying, you know what, I think what you did was wrong, that's my piece, I'm going about my business. Once we take it past that level, right, Angela? Once we take it past that level, we really have to stop and ask ourselves, like, what are we doing? And who are we doing it for? Because it's certain things that we partake in, we for darn sure can't say that we're doing it for God. I mean, you can say what you want to say. Let me take that back. You can say what you want to say. But we know what it is, and you know what it is. So, like at the end, like, I just being realistic about a situation. And again, this not even about treating people the way that you think they need to be treated. Treating people the way that you would want to be treated. So if you would want some type of grace and mercy and forgiveness extended to you, are you extending that same thing to other people? Like I said, it's just like a bank. You can't pull out something that you didn't deposit. Now, you can go and try to take out a loan, but a loan is just that. It's a loan. But if you are depositing love, if you are depositing kindness, if you are depositing those things, that help make up that fruit of the Spirit, if you are depositing those things, then you get those same things back plus interest in return. But if you are not making those spiritual deposits, you may be extended some mercy and some good things still happen for you, but you can't expect those things when you haven't made a deposit. It doesn't make sense. In the words of Smokey, you didn't put in on this man. So how can you expect something, you know what I'm saying? You can't be that person that's always coming to the cookout and you never bring anything but an empty plate to put your food in. I hope y'all ain't one of those people. Press pause for a second. Give me a minute. Okay. Sorry about that. Had to go and check my stuff. Okay, so that's just the message that I wanted to bring today. Where truth is, unity. Wait a minute. God is love, so it's not love. It's not of God. Oh, when there is unity, there is strength. We need more unity now than ever instead of putting one another down. Absolutely, absolutely. You had asked a question about Chicago. The thing that I would say about Chicago or any of the other states, or any other thing that's going on, what I'll say is at this point, I feel like actually I felt like this the entire time, but what you're saying is it's time to stop playing church and hold up and become the church. Absolutely. That's when Peter, after Peter had did all that wrong, done turned his back and everything, had a 3-time denial and everything. He was put in charge of the church, huh? Who would have thunk? So, boom, boom. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I'm glad getting along. We had you in our prayers over here. If we, at the end of the day, can just take some time and before we go after somebody else, you're welcome. Before we go after somebody else, we just think about our actions before we actually make a move. Really think about your actions. Play the what if game. Think about the consequences of your actions. Think about how your actions affect other people. Think about how your actions are going to affect you in the long run. I think that would help people make better decisions. Like the church is starting. Look like the world that's in Revelation. Y'all, I'm gonna come back if y'all welcome that, and we can have a whole other conversation um on that. I don't know. I have to try to we just need to have a conversation on that. Yeah. Because let me tell you something. Ooh. Yeah, we just need to have another conversation about that. Because I'm you cannot accept him and not accept his bride. You know? That church. And I know a lot of people have gotten away from that because they may have been done wronged by the church or some people in the church. But remember, those people are just mere parts of it. They don't make up the church. And yeah, that's another conversation, y'all. So we can have that on another yeah. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope you got something out of this message. Again, I know it's not the message that you may be getting on the other channels, and it's not, it don't have all that extra stuff. But this is my message. This is my Sunday message. This is my Sunday table talk. So I hope that it was received in the manner that it was given. I don't know my PayPal. I don't know my PayPal. I don't know what it is. I gotta find it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Yeah. I don't know what it is. But shout out to the Dimes. Appreciate y'all. If you are not a member, let me pause real quick. We have all been church hurt. Angela, that's exactly what we are talking about, that church hurt. And I think that is a conversation worth having on another day. So if that's something that you guys would want to talk about, and leave a comment in the comment section. If that's something that you want to have a conversation about, because I think that's why a lot of people have turned away. South CAG, what's going on, Trevin? What's going on? I think that's why a lot of people have turned away. And it's understandable. It's definitely understandable. But I just hope that people remember that if you are hurt by somebody, that is somebody. They don't represent the church. They definitely don't represent the church. They might represent a church, but they don't represent the church, if that makes sense. I'm saying that because when the church is allowing in and everything into the pulpit and lie, that's how you know the church is beginning to look a lot like the world. Right, untold truth. I agree with that. There are a lot of things that have been allowed to infiltrate a lot of churches. And honestly, a lot of churches are operating more so under the business side, and understand that when it comes to churches, that even though there is a spiritual component of it, a church is still a business. A church is definitely a business. Thank you, Boom Boom. A church is a business. So there are a lot of things when that business component, when it is introduced to it, then there are a lot of there's a lot of mess that comes along with that. It's no different than YouTube, y'all. It's really no different than YouTube. You have something that may start out with good intentions, and then we see the ways of the world start to interject. It starts to intercede, and you start seeing the things that once came across as pure and good. You start seeing those things changing. And it's no longer the church or the channel that you once knew. It has been infiltrated by something other than the church, something that is not of the church, or something that is not of that channel, and it becomes something else. And it takes a while for some people, they so deep into it that they don't realize that these things have taken place, that they have allowed these things to come in, and not just come in, but oftentimes take over. They don't realize that they have allowed these things to come in because it happens gradually. And we see a lot of that with a lot of the churches right now. You know, they let something small come in and they overlooked it. Or they noticed something and they overlooked it, didn't address it. And then when it comes and turns into something major, now you got this whole thing going on, and your actions have basically turned people away from the church, especially people that I would consider to be like new believers. You've turned them away because for some, this is the first introduction of the church or your channel. This is the first introduction that they have ever had. Peace in the puzzle, how you doing? This is the first introduction of the church or spirituality or anything that they have ever had. And that first interaction that they've had, you hurt them, and now you left a bad taste in their mouth. And now from this point on, the assumption is mentally, it's not because they want to think that way, but just that's how things work mentally. It's like, because this church did something, or because this channel did something, because these people did something, they are representative of what the church is supposed to be. And this is what all the churches must be doing, because if these people are doing it and they represent the church, then this is what the church is about. It's about a bunch of foolishness. This is the first introduction that these people have, and we know that first introduction is a beast. That first impression is everything. And this is the first impression that a lot of people are getting of the church. A lot of people, the first thing they're getting is a bunch of nonsense. Like, that's what they're walking into. And it's a sad thing, because even in the midst of chaos, you still have those few or many that are trying to do the right thing, but all it takes is a handful of chaos starters, of fire starters, and it makes everything else. It goes back, one apple can spoil the whole bunch. It's not that like they chose to be spoiled. You know, with some fruit, if it touches another piece of fruit and it's spoiled, and it touches another piece of fruit, then eventually that piece of fruit is going to be spoiled. Not by choice. Maybe that piece of fruit didn't realize that this piece was spoiled. And by the time they see that that thing or that person is spoiled, then it's too late. They've already been touched. They already have that infection. I'm going to leave that alone. Y'all. You should not allow nothing but the gospel. Preaching the pulpit. Child. Whoa. I'm going to tell y'all. It's real out here. It's real in these streets. And I pray that you guys don't get caught up in the foolishness. Don't believe the hype. Don't let any of this negativity invade your temple. If you see yourself starting to fall into the trap of foolishness and just evilness and deceitfulness and spitefulness, and if you find yourself falling into this, then you got to pull yourself up real quick. And if you're not strong enough to pull yourself, and you have somebody that is close to you that is trying to pull you, then allow yourself to be pulled so you don't get caught up in this stuff. Because ultimately, we all are going to have to answer for our actions someday. And God forbid you have to go and answer to the man. Let me do this one for Angela. You have to go and answer to whoever your higher power is. You have to go and answer as to why you played a part in crucifying somebody else. So just be mindful. Just be mindful of the role that you play in a lot of this stuff. Boom, boom, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I'm one of them. Just chose to go a different route. because it's just so much. I won't get into that, but yeah. So again, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for those who participated. If you have not hit that like button, please make sure you hit that like button. Hey, Pap, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? It's actually, I apologize. Okay. Just we gotta shoot. We've got to remember the devil comes to steal, kill, and absolutely. I think that we just gotta protect our peace. You know what I'm saying? We gotta protect this. Don't let that stuff get into this. You know what I'm saying? Like we can watch it, you like, but don't let that stuff infiltrate. You know what I'm talking about? Just don't let it get all up in your system and start clogging your pores and stuff. And you know, then we got to go and do that detox to get rid of all this mess. And y'all know detoxes aren't fun, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So just try not to let this stuff up in your system. Like that's it. That's it. Just try not to let it all up in your system. Like for real. Know that we're covered by the blood. You better say so. You better say so. And y'all remember, again, this is Palm Sunday. Okay, we coming up to Easter. There are a lot of lessons to be learned. If we go back and do some reading, there are a lot of things that happened in between Palm Sunday and Easter. Like there are a lot of things that happen in between these days, and there are a lot of correlations to things that we have going on right now. So I think it's a good thing for people to like go back and just look and see how some of the stuff that's going on right now is very similar to some stuff that happened in biblical times. And it'll kind of have you shaking your head like, wait a minute. So I encourage people to just go and, you know what I mean? Just look at some of the parallels there, especially when it comes to that crucifixion and how everybody turned the parallels. Just, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go, guys. My Sunday meal today, I got a YouTube recipe from, I can't even think of who the person was, but I cooked some crab cakes. So that is the dinner for today that I am about to go partake in. We're going to pray and watch God work on behalf of Ron, Spencer, Kelly, and our men. Just watch him work. And I'm going to take this further, untold. Because I'm watching how he works over the whole situation, because everybody needs a little touching. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs a little touch. Like I try not to be selective, and everybody needs a little touch. You need a healing, and you need a healing, and you need, like, everybody need a little touch. Just, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not enough. It's not enough to just touch him. It got to go all the way around. You know what I'm talking about? Like everybody need little razzle dazzle, little razzle dazzle, little sprinkle. Everybody need a little touch. You know, us included. We all need a little touch. You know, give me some. You people had enough. Give me some more. Like everybody need a little touch, little razzle dazzle, and we're gonna watch and see how things play out. But hopefully, for the people, whatever your beliefs are, whatever you are fighting for, make sure that you are trying to at least walk that walk is right. I can't even talk. That righteous walk. That walk is right. Anyway, that's when you know it's time to go. I gotta eat. That righteous walk. Make sure that you are at least trying to walk that righteous walk whenever you are asking for some type of blessing or some type of deliverance. Just touch the hem of his garment. Come on. I don't know who Untold Truth is, but let me tell you something. You know a little something, don't you? I see you. I see you. If I can just touch the hem of your garment, I know I will be made whole. Thank you, Boom Boom. Thank you. Like I said, I appreciate you guys. Hope y'all got something out of this. I'm going to go and get my little eat on. go about my business, go back in my corner and mind my business, y'all. Y'all know what it is. And just continue watching and praying, because I'm praying for everybody. Believe it or not, like I said, people want me to jump over here, jump over there. Like that's not how I'm praying for everybody. Everybody. Anybody that is somebody, I'm praying for them. You know what I'm saying? And I hope they're doing the same in return. That's all I can ask for. So again, shout out to the dimes. Shout out to the subscribers. If you are not subscribed, shout out to you as well, just for tuning in. But if you have not subscribed, feel free to subscribe. Do that. And we can actually go out with that. We can go out with that untold truth. And this is something that I have not done on my channel before, because I try to make sure I keep everything, But I will do this on the way going out. So this is going to be my prayer on the way going out. Ugh. Father God, we come to you today asking that you touch the people that were able to watch, the people that were able to listen, the people that were able to feel the message that was put out today. God, we ask for those who feel the need to crucify. We ask for those who feel the need to slander. We ask for those who feel the need to come after people in a malicious way, Lord. We ask that you not only touch their minds, we ask that you touch their bodies. We ask that you touch their souls. We ask that you touch their spirits and get them to understand, not just see, but to understand what a righteous walk actually looks like. Lord, we ask that whatever people are praying for today, whatever they are asking you for, that everything is done within good faith, and that people understand that you cannot get from something that you have not put into. So I ask that you bless people with the mind to want to pour into what you have going on, that you bless them to, just want to do the right thing. Not because they had to, but because they choose to. Lord, I ask that anybody that is watching or listening to this today who has any type of wrong thinking, any type of evil, wherewithal or doing within their minds, within their bodies, that you deliver them from that today and let them see the light, Lord. We ask that everyone that is involved and everyone that is within the sound of my voice today, Lord, that you bless them, that you heal them. Anybody that needs healing, we ask that you touch their bodies, touch their minds, touch their souls. Anyone that needs a financial healing, we ask that you heal them financially today. These things I ask in your name. Amen. Okay. So with that being said, I am going to get off here. Again, hope you guys got something out of this, and that you go into this week with the positive mindset. And I hope that everything that you guys have asked for and everything that you're praying for, that you are blessed with those things in his name. So with that being said, I'm going to get off here. You guys have a good one. If you don't get anything else out of this message that we put out here today, I want you to remember this one thing. Mind your business. Don't cost you a dime. You get that for free 99. Free 99. Mind your business. You guys have a good week. God willing, I'll try to come back another day. But if not, I will see you guys next Sunday. Have a good one. Bye.